The latest hammer to fall in the Nikola saga came in the middle of the night Sunday when executive chairman and founder Trevor Milton said he was leaving the company. Now, whether Trevor was going on his own or was pushed is up for some conjecture, but the company put out a statement at 2 a.m, pretty unusual time, by the way, for a statement to say that he was in fact leaving, confirming what FreightWaves reported a little bit before midnight, and that he would be replaced by Steve Girsky, who is a former vice chairman of General Motors and the man whose company Vecto IQ brought Nikola public in June as a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ. This whole story goes back to a report on September 10th by Hindenburg Research, which is a short seller. This is a company that makes money by selling the shares of a company at a low price because they bet that it'll go lower. This 67-page report was filled with allegations both against Nikola and particularly against Milton for making things up, for effectively lying about what the company was doing and could do and had done. Where we end up with Hindenburg was they won the day. They got about a 40% decline in Nikola stock, and obviously, since what you do when you're a short seller is you borrow shares from someone, and then you go and hope that they go down in price. You sell them, purchase them back, and then give them back to the owner. When a short seller doesn't work or a short sale doesn't work, you end up having to pay a penalty to the owner as well as pay for those shares. In this case, Hindenburg did very, very well, and they kept up the pressure last week by saying that Nikola really didn't respond appropriately or accurately or completely to its 53 allegations. In the meantime, Nikola took 4 days to respond even partially to the criticisms in the report, and even though it was getting a lot of help from analysts and investors, board members and so forth, its stock continued to tumble. Began to make it up a little bit towards the end of last week when a couple of board members were dispatched by a crisis communications firm working with Nikola to help make the case that the company's business plan is solid and that the idea of partnerships, which it has formed many of, is a good way to do business. But the noise around the short selling and the critics just continued. And this morning, following the early morning or the wee hours announcement, Nikola was still trading about 15% lower today. No telling where that's going to go today. General Motors becomes a very big part of this story now, not only because of Steve Girsky, but because of an announcement 2 days before the short sellers report of a partnership with Nikola, under which it will manufacture the Nikola Badger electric pickup truck and will also sell batteries and fuel cells to Nikola. Now, the contentious part of that is that Nikola had been talking for many months about its own development, both in terms of battery breakthroughs and fuel cell development, and then it goes ahead and decides to purchase these things from General Motors, which has a long history in both areas and is trying to build its business. So GM becomes a central part of this saga, and also today in a statement says that it continues to support Nikola, which is not too surprising given that it's being run by a former GM executive who has a number of former GM people advising him on the matter at Nikola. This is Alan Adler reporting for FreightWaves. Follow FreightWaves.com for the latest developments in this story.